So again, thanks so much for coming to this virtual open house about the Masters of Urban Planning program at Texas A&M. These are some images of our students doing community engagement, which is something that we really specialize in, particularly working with low capacity or underserved communities. And we are a program that is 59 years old. And we will be actually 60 next year, once it's like 2025. We were established in 1965. And like many public universities, we're mostly dedicated to serve the states that they are located in our case, the state of Texas. And something that is interesting about Texas is that it has like a growing economy. So a lot of people are moving here because we have a lot of jobs. Housing is more affordable than other places in the United States. And wages are high as well compared to other states. So it's like a growth place, because we have like 30 million people. So the second largest state. And in the Texas Triangle, which is like where we're located, we are close to large cities like San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas. And there's like 21 million in that people in that Texas Triangle, which means that we as a program can engage with like many practitioners there, many cities that are big, that are small. So there's a lot to do. Like if you're interested in working in big cities, you can do that here. If you're interested in working more like a small town, rural towns, you can do that here as well. It makes it a great laboratory for urban planning. In terms of like the careers that the students get, mostly are going to be in the public sector. I would say that about 60% of our students end up working for government, but there's also some that end up working for consultants in the private sector and also in the nonprofit sector as well. This is just some companies that hire our students from last year. So we have like 16 students graduating. And as you can see, there's a mix of cities, but also metropolitan planning organizations and consultant groups. The same thing with like we're hiring our interns. We are unique in terms of the curriculum that not all planning programs require you to have an internship. For us, I would think that is very important because it really helps you to get a job after graduation, having that experience. So in the first year that you're here, in that summer, we require you to have an internship, and we assist you in order to be able to do that. This is like more of a look to our curriculum. So it is like 48 credit hours. That is like 12 credit hours a semester, plus 1 credit hour of internship in the summer. And as you can see, we have like a mix of courses that are more geared towards more knowledge of planning. Other ones are more about methods. There's a lot of practice as well. And we have 3 emphasis areas. One is like transportation policy and planning. Another one is hazards and climate resilient communities. And the last one is housing, community, and economic development. So you have 12 credit hours that you can take pretty much like one elective every semester, and trying to focus on something that you're really interested in. In addition, you can do a professional project at the end that it is about that emphasis area that you're really interested in. We not only have the option of doing a professional paper, you could also do a thesis if you wanted to. You were interested in pursuing a PhD. We have a PhD program here as well at Texas A&M. We actually have the 3 different degrees in planning from undergraduate to PhD, which makes it a very big program, but also a lot of different opportunities. And we don't only have the project and also the thesis, but something that many schools do not have, and we do, is a comprehensive exam. The idea of a comprehensive exam is that it could also help you to achieve the a certification that planners have. It is not required, but it's something that on average, I think that the last survey in 2019 for planners showed that people can earn $19,000 more if they get that certificate. So in our curriculum, we're trying to really emphasize that people can take the ISCP certification at the end of the program. So that's also an option as well for your final demonstration of what you have learned in the program. As I mentioned, we work with many stakeholders in the state, and mostly we do that through service engagement organization that is called Texas Target Communities, and they are in our department, but very well recognized in all the university and in the state of Texas. As you can see, there's like some classes. At least 3 of your classes will be classes that you need to engage with the community through Texas Target Communities. They mostly do comprehensive plans, but they might also do other types of plans for underserved and low capacity communities. In addition, there's other community engagements just based on faculty members, just finding clients and doing engaged work. But for sure, through Texas Target Communities, you get a lot of support. We usually go a few times to the community. Many of these communities might be 2 hours away. Some of them might be farther away. And then, rent vans, get all the materials. A lot of things that we do are learning techniques like focus groups, interviewing, surveys, pop-up, and hands-on activities with all kinds of people, from children to older adults. And we also have interdisciplinary certificates. So I was already telling you that we have the emphasis areas, and you take 12 credit hours on those emphasis areas. Well, you could take an additional 3 credit hours, for instance, and earn a certificate. And these certificates, you don't need to pay additional money, just a very small application of $25 and just that extra class. And then you get something that is not only your diploma, that it says for a master's in urban planning, but you also get another, this extra certificate that it can help you to distinguish yourself when you are in the market. And they are these ones here: Health and System Design Certificate, Environmental Hazards Management Certificate, Transportation, then Historical Preservation and Sustainable Urbanism. For these, you will be interacting with like other departments and other students. So for example, in the Historical Preservation, you will be taking classes with architects and others that are in land development and so on. In transportation, it will be a lot with like engineering department. So it really depends what is that specialty. We also have 2 master's programs. So the Master of Art, it's really like dual degrees, right? So you could take not only the master's in urban planning, but another master's. So one in architecture and another one in Masters of Land Property. And for this, you can just ask us more information about how you will do that, because you right now could apply for both of them and say that it's a dual degree. Or sometimes some students do it on the first semester once they get here, but it's better to talk to Tina Morris, is the coordinator, to see how you can apply now for both. We also have like a very active student organization, and it's from undergraduate to graduate, and they basically meet every month to do like many activities, social activities, but also service in the community, and organize for conferences, and again, just like many social events, as well, fundraisings. One of the highlights of the ASP organization is to go to the Texas APA conference, which always happens in the fall semester. So the program gives funding to the student association, and they can use that funding for many activities, but two of those activities is going to the Texas APA, and then also some students go to the national APA conference that, for example, this year will be in Denver. So that might cover some lodging, registrations, nice t-shirts, always like with the Aggie spirit, going everywhere and showing where we are coming from. As I said, service is an important part. So, for example, for this Texas APA, they join with other universities and students in other programs to, when they go to the conference in that place, they do a service, and it takes a couple months to do that with the hosting city. Another thing that we do while being at Texas APA is really have a table there to promote our students. And we also share with all the they have like booths with different companies. We have like a resume book, share student biographies, and just promoting our students. Many of them actually get jobs offers before they graduate, and the same thing with internships, because we are really trying to promote them. We also have a career fair that it happens around February 15th. And last year there was like 50 plus employers. And this is an opportunity for students to interview with these employers, also bringing their resumes and making that connection. And that you have the opportunity to do that for finding internships in that first year and finding a job once you are closer to graduation. We also have alumni advisory group. They come twice to campus and we do activities with them. One of the activities that we do is a mentorship program. They meet, all the students are paired with a mentor in the industry. And these are like alumni that have really distinguished themselves in what they're doing. And they also meet like outside of these like events to get that extra support about work, but also emphasis areas and more professional development in general. We also do a showcase, which is an activity in where the other people that are in the architecture building, so land development, landscape architecture and construction sciences, come and show their work. The students are welcome to show posters. There's like professors showing what they work on their research. There's a lot of installations, a lot of whole days of like having also food, and it's just a great event. Instead of having class that day, everybody gathers in this incredible showcase of like what everybody is doing. We have a lot of research centers that you can get involved with, being on a voluntary basis, or maybe you are able to find employment with some of these centers, doing like usually more research assistantships. We have one that is dedicated to housing, one to hazards, one of health systems and design, and transportation, sustainable development, and as I said, also the Texas target communities, going and serving communities across the state. In terms of like financial aid, well, finding employment through one of those research centers, it is a possibility. Usually for that, professors will have applied for research funds, and if they want to hire someone, we will put a call and say, please apply. We will do that once if you're accepted, and if you say that you will come here, I will start send you some of those announcements, which will usually happen probably closer to May until about July or so, as the clock for applying, the person applies for funds right now, for instance, and they might learn whether or not they got funds for research around that time. We also have competitions for just scholarships. So these scholarships do not require for you to do work necessarily. It will be just different awards are given. There are competitions because they're not only off to meet students that we think has distinguished themselves, or some of them are actually based on also on the representation, people that might be veteran or might have disabilities, people that might be coming from low-income backgrounds or first generation. And there's some that, like the top of, for instance, that they don't have any, it's just like people that we think that would be really great. Of course, in these competitions, they're competing with engineering, with like even architecture, other departments. We also have these scholarships that are, they're 10, that are $1,000. But the great thing about these scholarships is that if you're from out of state, or including like if you're from coming from another country, we can give you half tuition. So instead of paying like you are from outside, you're not residents, you pay like you're residents. And that is quite a substantial help. And sometimes, there's other works besides ARAs. There could be like graduate assistants, working on something that is like about our programs, or they could be teaching assistants. As I said, we have an undergraduate program. So these are some of the opportunities. I also will post a link on like what are the tuition cost. Right now, this is like just an image, so it's not in the website. But basically, if you like type tuition calculator at Texas A&M, you can put down here that you will join the College of Architecture, and then the program, which is landscape architecture and urban planning. And there you can also put obviously the semester, which is not there yet for when you will join, but you can get a good guess by looking at the spring 2025. And then can put Texas resident or non-resident, and you can see what is the cost of attendance. Something that is good about Texas A&M is that we're often listed as like best value college, meaning that we're one of the most affordable colleges in the US. I will post that a little bit later when we are answering questions. So what do you need to include in your application? Well, hope that many of you are familiar with this. As I imagine, they're applying for also different programs, are looking into our program as well. So you have to get the transcripts for colleges and universities that you have attended. You also need 3 letters of recommendation. Often people ask, which kind of recommendations? Well, I would say academic recommendations, because they speak about you being a student. But also, if you have work experience, that would be very helpful. If you have volunteer on the service, that could be another type of letter that you can include. The good thing about having 3 letters is that those letters together can speak about you as a whole, as a person, and it's extra information for, you already have your personal statement where you write about yourself. So those letters could be just giving more depth to what you're saying, or giving a different dimension that perhaps you could not include in those like 2 pages that you have for your statement of purpose. And then you will include a resume or curriculum vitae. Usually these ones are short, so usually they're resumes instead of the vitae. There's more academic with publications and things like that. And then you pay the application fee. The application fee is $65 for domestic, and for international students, now I cannot remember from the top of my head, it might be 140 something. I can definitely look that up. And there's a system in where you do that submission. I can also put the links to that as well. We do not have waivers for these applications, for being able to, as I said, the money that you have to pay in order to apply. We do not have waivers for this, unfortunately. And I know that some of you are joining from countries that, again, are paying $140 something. It is in US dollars is quite big, but unfortunately we do not have waivers. That's a question that I get a lot. If you have like any other questions, you can always use my contact. I see that you have my contact as well, because you're here and I send the email. But Tina Morris is the graduate advisor. That's her contact, and she's super helpful in terms of like looking also at the applications and just anything that has to do with like navigating the system, and checking in, like if we have gotten some things or questions like that. Again, she's like super helpful on that. And these are our students. We actually have been growing. So we have, in the students that will be graduating next year are also 16, like the previous class. And then last year we accepted a lot of students and they decided to come. So we have 30. I anticipate that this year we also will accept more students as well. And I would say about 50% of them do obtain some kind of scholarship or tuition, have tuition, or some employment in the university. And those that come here perhaps with no employment are able to, I already told you that there's like, we go to APA, Texas APA. There's also other career fairs that happen here in the university. Mostly like we have very good luck also going to engineering fairs, and some of the students, even the international students, have been able to find employment as well.